here at the first day at Chancellorsville. You can see here on the map, we're looking at from the position of McLaws' troops as they looked along the Orange Turnpike towards Sykes's brigade. And you can see Ayres there on the left end of Sykes's line. He had the U.S. regulars. And then O'Rourke, you can see listed here. He's the same Patty O'Rourke who gets killed on Little Round Top at Gettysburg. So all of these units, Sykes was the corps commander whose 5th Corps was on top of Little Round Top at Gettysburg 2 months from now. And Ayres, he commanded the U.S. regulars that got the crap shot out of him in the wheat field at Gettysburg. So some familiar names at the Chancellorsville battle. We are on the north side of the turnpike. You can see the traffic driving along the Orange Turnpike there. This is the north side. So as you can see, we're here. So we'd be looking towards Burbank's brigade of Union troops on these rolling hills in front of us. And so this is what Hooker wanted. He wanted his troops to gain this ground. They were marching towards us from the west, out of the wilderness and into the open ground to the west of Fredericksburg, which is where had Hooker simply advanced his entire army out into this land, there's not much Lee would have been able to do about it. Lee would have had to have displaced his army out of Fredericksburg and moved probably south to find another battlefield to defend, because Lee's 60,000-ish troops would not have been able to defend in open ground like this against Hooker's 130,000. But Lee instead just pushed his men up to engage Hooker's initial advance. Hooker loses his nerve and has his entire army retreat back to Chancellorsville and the vicinity of the wilderness. Lee fronts his army there and then sends the bulk of his army around on Jackson's famous flank march that ends up hitting the Union right flank and rolling up Hooker's entire army until he has to retreat back across the Rappahannock. So had Hooker simply continued with his plan and had his troops advance across these fields in force, he would have been fine probably, but he completely loses his nerve at the first sign of contact and ends up retreating, and thus we get Chancellorsville. So this is the battlefield of the first day of Chancellorsville, which was recently preserved by the American Battlefield Trust.